the Perrysburg City Council meeting for September 7th, still the 7th, I believe. Roll call, please.
Ms. Bourne?
Here.
Mr. Coleman?
Here.
Ms. Materney? Here. Mr. McCarthy? Mr. Smith?
Here.
Mr. Van Duzen?
Here.
Mr. Weber?
Here. If you're able, please join me in standing saying the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Minutes of the City Council meeting of August 17th, 2021.
I believe everyone has received a copy of these meeting minutes. I do want to, for anybody who hasn't had a chance to review the ones in front of us, I did have a correction on there. Under the President of Council report, it is on the ones that we have here now. There was a misspelling of Kathy Mole's name, but that has been corrected. So with that, I would like to move to approve the meeting minutes for the City Council meeting held on August 17, 2021 as written and dispense with their reading.
Second. Roll call.
Ms. Bourne?
Present.
Mr. Coleman?
Yes.
Ms. Materney?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Van Duzen?
Yes.
Mr. Weber?
Yes. Okay, thank you. Special reports, we have no special reports. Letters, communication, assistance, concerns, I think we just kind of did that. Administrative reports, Mayor, just wants to point out, no report other than the county is having a commemorative memorial service on September 11th, and encourage everybody to attend that. City Administrator is not here, so has no report. Finance Director?
No report.
Excuse me, Mr. Mayor, when did you say the September 11th event was? Where is it?
It's at Wood County, and I'm not sure exactly, I don't have that information. It is September 11th, it's in the morning, I think it's at the county courthouse.
Thank you.
I don't have the exact information with me. Good, no report?
Correct.
Excellent. Law Director?
I would request executive session.
For the purpose of
I
I would request that one of you request
Yes.
executive session, is what I'm asking.
I'm going to actually make the motion to go into executive session to discuss collective bargaining matters as well as pending our imminent court action.
I second.
discussion? Roll call?
Ms. Bourne?
Yes.
Mr. Coleman?
Yes.
Ms. Materney?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Van Duzen?
Yes.
Mr. Weber?
Yes. All right.
Small conference room?
Small, yeah, let's go to the basic one then. Let's go to the basic.
All right, go ahead and make the motion to come back from executive session.
Well, that's good.
Need a second?
Second.
Roll call?
Ms. Bourne?
Yes.
Mr. Coleman?
Yes.
Ms. Materney?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Van Duzen?
Yes.
Mr. Weber?
Yes.
President of Council report.
Thank you, Mayor. I have no report, but I do have two resolutions here to pass, and I'll do them separately, just do the nature of each of the resolutions. So I would like to introduce Resolution 48-2021 and move the rules to be suspended to allow for its reading by number and title only and dispense with the second and third reading.
Second.
Roll call?
Ms. Bourne?
Yes.
Mr. Coleman?
Yes.
Ms. Materney?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Van Duzen?
Yes.
Mr. Weber?
Yes.
Resolution 48, 2021. Supplementing Resolution 37, 2021 related to the construction portion of the City of Perrysburg Fire Station and 38 improvement project.
All right, I move that Resolution 48-2021 be passed as an emergency measure.
Second.
No,
No?
not emergency, I'm sorry.
Okay. Not as an emergency measure.
We have a second
Second.
discussion? Roll call?
Ms. Bourne?
Yes.
Mr. Coleman?
Yes.
Ms. Materney?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Van Duzen?
Yes.
Mr. Weber?
Yes.
All right, and then I'd also like to introduce Resolution 53-2021 and move the rules be suspended to allow for its reading by number and title only, dispense with the second and third readings.
Second.
Roll call?
Ms. Bourne?
Yes.
Mr. Coleman?
Yes.
Ms. Materney?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Van Duzen?
Yes.
Mr. Weber?
Yes.
Resolution 53, 2021, authorizing the City of Perrysburg to approve the City of Perrysburg and IAFF Local 3331 backbinders report and declaring an emergency.
All right, I move that resolution 53, 2021 be passed as emergency measure.
Second?
Discussion? Roll call?
Mr. Coleman?
Yes.
Ms. Matroni?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Van Huzen?
Yes.
Mr. Weber?
Yes.
Ms. Bourne?
Yes.
Welcome to stay.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
All righty, good. Hopefully you guys have the same result. Do we want to do personnel out of order?
I appreciate that. I let the rest of the council know that I am leaving here in about 5 minutes, but I want to try to get these ordinances introduced. I have no report. Our next meeting is going to be the 28th, I believe, at 5:30.
Are we doing this for reading or passing?
The IP, we are going to do a vote on 39.
Okay.
So I would like to introduce ordinance 39, 2021, and move that the rules be suspended to allow for its reading by number and title only. And this is the third reading. Second.
Roll call?
Ms. Bourne?
Yes.
Mr. Coleman?
Yes.
Ms. Matroni?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Van Huzen?
Yes.
Mr. Weber?
Yes.
Ordinance 39, 2021, an ordinance amending Perrysburg codified ordinances 266.15-1 and 266.15-2.
I move that ordinance 39, 2021 be passed. Second.
Discussion?
Just real quick, and I hate to bring this up, Corey. I just want to make certain that some of the conversations were taken and put in the final version that we were passing, more specifically in regards that personnel is going to receive the information on the raises on an annual basis.
Right. And the quick thing I'll say about this is I look forward to making a more cohesive and comprehensive plan and make it fit with our ordinances down the road and the personnel's agenda. So.
Okay. I would definitely want to see that moving forward. I want to ensure that with these changes that those raises are made aware of to council, and that way we know what's going on. I'm not saying anything against the current administration, but as administration change in the future, it's good for council to know what is happening with the funds. So that's all I have to say.
Roll call.
Wait, real quick, is this supposed to be a law director? Do you want?
I'm here, I'm sorry.
Should we be doing this as an emergency? Do you want this in effect immediately?
You don't see any.
No.
Okay.
Really?
Just wanted to double check.
Do you care? That's our slogan.
Okay, let's
There we go. Roll call, please.
Ms. Matroni? Yes. Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Van Huzen?
Yes.
Mr. Weber?
Yes.
Ms. Bourne?
Yes.
Mr. Coleman?
Yes. Okay, and with that, I have two more ordinances. I would like to introduce them both together for their second reading. So I'll introduce ordinance 41 and 42, 2021, and move that the rules be suspended to allow for its reading by number and title only. Second.
Roll call?
Ms. Bourne?
Yes.
Mr. Coleman?
Yes.
Ms. Matroni? Yes. Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Van Huzen?
Yes.
Mr. Weber?
Yes.
Ordinance 41, 2021, amending codified ordinance 220.07 of the City of Perrysburg codified ordinances, codified by ordinance 57, 2017, and passed on August 1st, 2017.
We're just reading them.
Ordinance 42, 2021, amending codified ordinance 230.01 of the City of Perrysburg codified ordinances, codified by ordinance 93, 2008, and passed on July 8, 2008.
We're just reading them.
It's just a second.
Second reading.
I'm asking for no vote tonight if you want to say
That's what
this.
I was going to
All right,
ask.
so is there discussion or no?
No, I was going to ask for your voting tonight. That's what I was going to ask.
So I will present it next meeting and for third reading and for potential vote.
Thank you very
With
much.
that, my report's concluded. Thank you all.
Thank you very much.
Night.
Appreciate it. Okay, back to our normal programming.
Is there anything else to see with us?
Finance and economic development.
Thank you, Your Honor. We did not meet, and our next meeting is a week from tonight, Tuesday, September 14th at 5:30 p.m.
All righty, thank you. Safety committee.
Thank you, Your Honor. The Safety Committee met on August 24th, and the meeting was called to order at 6 p.m. by Chairman Jerry Van Duzen. Committee members present were Deborah Bourne and Mark Weber. Also present were Bridget Cabot, Keith Sandretto, Police Chief Pat Jones, and Fire Chief Rudy Lewis. Citizen concerns, Barbara Welch, 201 East South Boundary Street, requested that golf carts be allowed in the city. I indicated that the committee would be discussing golf carts later in the meeting. The minutes were approved. And then the permission to purchase cardiac monitors. Ms. Sandretto stated that the fire division would like to purchase 5 cardiac monitors from Philips at a cost of $179,259.40. She said the current monitors are becoming obsolete and will not be serviceable after the end of the year because of outdated technology. Ms. Van Duzen asked how old the current monitors were. Chief Perez said he believes that they are about 6 years old. He said they get used on almost a daily basis. Chief Perez explained that he tested 3 different systems, and this one is referred 2 to 1 by the firefighters. Ms. Van Duzen asked if this purchase was in the budget, and Chief Perez said that it was. The committee agreed 3-0 to recommend approval of the purchase. Golf carts. According to the Ohio Revised Code, golf carts are considered under speed vehicles, which are not allowed on the street unless allowed by the local community. The ORC also requires that an inspection be done to ensure that the golf cart has a windshield, turn signals, brake lights, headlights, and a horn before they are allowed on the streets. However, even if a golf cart has been approved, it still is not allowed on the streets unless the local community allows golf carts. The committee discussed concerns about vehicles that cannot go over 20 miles per hour traveling on streets with a 35-mile speed limit. Ms. Sandretto asked if we can, Ms. Sandretto was asked if we can restrict golf carts to streets that are 25 miles per hour or lower. She said ORC section 4511-214 does not say that you can limit it. So upon her initial reading, she would say no, you cannot. She said that she will do some more research to see if other communities have done it. Ms. Welch said that Bluffton and Toledo both allow golf carts. And I said that our main concern is safety. The committee will discuss further when we get more information. Noise ordinance, food trucks. Ms. Sandretto said that it brought to the city's attention that a food truck that sits on commercial property adjacent to residential property has a loud generator. She said that she does not think the mobile truck ordinance needs to be changed. She said that in reviewing the language in the city's noise ordinance, she would recommend that some of the language be repealed because there is no method to test for vibration. Ms. Sandretto said that the city purchased new noise level monitoring equipment. The police chief measured the noise level of the food truck that the complaints were received about. And the noise level fell within allowable levels. She noted that the mobile food truck owner bought a new generator. Val Parrott, 313 Elm Street, said that this issue has been going on for 2 years. She said that she would like the food truck legislation to be amended to not allow food trucks adjacent to residential areas. Ralph Wyman, 315 Elm Street, said that there has not been a lot of effort by businesses to try and mitigate this. He said it affects his health, it is annoying, and he had heart surgery 4 years ago. Mr. Weber asked if it was better when the food truck was parked on 3rd Street. Mr. Wyman said that it was better for the residents on Elm Street. Mr. Weber asked that the issue with it being on 3rd Street is that it was parked in the wrong direction and was serving to the side street. Ms. Cabot noted that many residential areas employ food trucks for parties and events. There was discussion about issues with plugging into businesses because of cords and mismatched electrical sources. Ms. Sandretto said that Chief Jones has pulled some noise legislation from other communities with rules regarding activities adjacent to residential areas. She she said this is the best place to start to look for a solution without causing unintended consequences. Ms. Bourne said that the food trucks should not be in areas adjacent to residential. They should be at Country Charm, Fort May Shopping, and downtown. Mr. Van Dusen said that they will continue with the process. Ms. Weber and Ms. Bourne said that they would keep the residents updated. Downtown parking. We had received emails from downtown business owners regarding employees of other businesses parking all day long. Ms. Gavitt said that there was a change regarding law enforcement not being able to chalk or mark tires, so this issue pops up every once in a while. Ms. Gavitt said that the city could have more parking on West 2nd Street, similar to what was done with East 2nd Street, but we can't regulate who parks there. Chief Jones agreed that the U.S. 6th Circuit made it almost impossible to enforce parking limits. Mr. Van Dusen said that he wanted this to be on the agenda to speak publicly about our options, but our options seem limited. There was a brief discussion about how to better market the available parking in the downtown area. School speed zones. The issue of a school speed zone on Louisiana Avenue near 7th Street was raised by Mr. Weber. Ms. Gavitt said that she was still working on it, that there may be a workaround that would allow a school speed zone in that area. She has a call into school superintendent Tom Hausler to discuss it with him. Chief Jones provided the results of a stealth speed study done in the 700-800 block of Louisiana. He said that the average speed of traffic, both northbound and southbound, was below the posted speed limit of 35 miles per hour. But there were some outliers. Mr. Weber asked Chief Jones what he thought about a school zone in that area. Chief Jones said that if there is a simpler way than what is laid out in the Ohio Revised Code, it can't hurt. Under other business, Ms. Bourne said congratulations on the new officers and promotions in the police division. There being no further business, the meeting was adjourned at 7:20 p.m. We do have a resolution. I would like to introduce Resolution 49, 2021, and move that the rules be suspended to allow for its reading by number only, and to dispense with the second and third readings.
Second.
Roll call.
Ms. Bourne?
Yes.
Mr. Coleman? Ms. Matroni?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Van Dusen?
Yes.
Mr. Weber?
Yes.
Resolution 49, 2021, a resolution authorizing a purchase agreement with Phillips not to exceed $179,259.40 for the purchase of 5 new HERT monitors for the Perrysburg Division of Fire and declaring an emergency.
I move that Resolution 49, 2021 be passed as an emergency measure.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Van Dusen?
Yes.
Mr. Weber?
Yes.
Ms. Bourne?
Yes.
Ms. Matroni?
Yes.
And our next committee meeting is scheduled for September 28th at 6 p.m. That concludes my report.
Thank you very much. Recreation.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have no report. Our next meeting is Tuesday, September 14th at 6:30 p.m. I do have one comment from some people who keep asking me about the pool. If it can be open longer, possibly past August 15th, maybe on the weekends. I've had several people ask that question into Labor Day.
It's been, I'm certainly happy to look at that. There's been 3 issues. One, most of the lifeguards are college students and leave in early to mid-August, and so there's staffing. Although there are some very significant improvement, there is a very small, finite group of people who have used the pool in the past. After a particular date, it becomes a little bit cost prohibitive for the to be open because it's not getting used. I happened to walk by there even on some very nice days last week, and there were a couple people in the pool even during particular hours on the weekend. And lastly, the Y has an agreement, and it has had trouble getting staffing after the start of August. So we're happy to look at that, and it's happy to be something that the rec committee can discuss with the Y when we come to next year. But it's been an ongoing issue to have people to provide service. So
The question that was brought to me was, I think Bowling Green does this already. They go into Labor Day weekend. They just like on the weekends now. That was the question they had because of the hot days we've had. So
we've had the same problem, we had the same question. The rec committee can take it up with the Y, also the cost when that's discussed. But and it is certainly an issue. We'd like to be able to provide the service when we can, but again, it's still a staffing issue. It's just those students who are in college who are qualified under the lifeguard standards to work the pool leave at the start of August. So they don't come back on weekends to make themselves available to do that. But we'll have happy to take that into consideration next year.
thank you.
Planning and zoning has no report.
There's only one person left.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, I'm the lone committee member.
So this is like a great planning and zoning.
That's right.
You can make any changes you want.
It's been announced a couple of other occasions, our next scheduled meeting, there is no report, but our next scheduled meeting is September 15th at 5:30.
Block off some time. Thank you. Personnel, we already did. Public utilities.
Thank you, Mayor. I do have a report here. We met on August 25th at 6:31 p.m. Myself, as well as Mr. Attorney, were present. Also present was Ms. Gossi, Director of Public Utilities. I'll skip through some things that are routine. We had the authorization for the Ohio Public Works application round 36. Ms. Gossi requested authorization to apply for a grant from the OPWC. Ms. Gossi said that we apply for this grant every year. This year we were applying for the grant for the wastewater treatment plant. The digester is what I'll just call it. Improvement project. This includes replacement of the biogas flow meters and replacement of boiler and heat exchange. The construction estimate is $522,000 and the grant application is not to exceed $175,000. The committee agreed to recommend approval of the grant request. We had a sewer credit tabulation, which there was only $276 in this last one. Another business, I had asked about the fixed base system is coming along. Ms. Gossi said they've done a PO for the fixed base box and have identified 5 locations to start with. They had meet with the meter manufacturer and said they could start getting some information for the system by the end of the year. For those who aren't aware, this is a way for residents to be able to have up-to-date, accurate meter readings whenever they log in. There was a brief discussion about the grant application for the Ohio Department of Development. I mentioned regarding the water tower on 199 and the logo, and just some more feedback on that. We followed up on home grants that have been applied for, and there have been 5 so far this year, which is up from 2 last year. And we do have to have a conversation here about our meeting, and since Mr. Van Duzen's here, in November. It is right around Thanksgiving, and I was hoping we might be able to try to reschedule the November one before I get into any of the only resolution I have on here. Our next scheduled meeting is still scheduled for September 22nd at 6:30 p.m. But if we can move that November one now, because there's going to definitely be some things that'll be coming up, it would be appreciated by the administration.
The 29th and 30th would both be okay with me.
Okay, and why don't we tentatively say the 29th at 6:30?
Okay.
Mr. Attorney?
Yeah, never mind. It was a dot on my calendar. I wanted to make sure it wasn't something funny.
All right. So the November one's going to be November 29th at 6:30 p.m. I know Corey's not here to discuss the service, so we'll have to do that at the next service committee meeting. We thought about trying to do everything
Yeah.
today. So with that being said, I would like to introduce Resolution 50/2021 and move that the rules be suspended to allow for its reading by number and title only, dispense with the second and third reading.
Second.
Roll call.
Ms. Bourne?
Yes.
Ms. Matroni?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Van Huzen?
Yes.
Mr. Weber?
Yes.
Resolution 50/2021, a resolution authorizing the city to participate in the Ohio Public Works Commission State Capital Improvement Program specifically by authorizing the mayor to take all actions legally necessary to prepare and submit an application for the program and to execute contracts as required and declaring an emergency.
All right, I move that resolution 50/2021 be passed as emergency measure.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call?
Mr. Van Huzen?
Yes.
Mr. Weber?
Yes.
Ms. Bourne?
Yes.
Ms. Matroni?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes. All right, that is the end of my report.
Sarah? Oh, I'm sorry, I'm getting a little bit on myself.
Go right ahead.
Taking your time.
Well,
Go right ahead.
so pass over, but the service committee meeting was held August 25th at 5:33. Chairperson Dan Attorney was present. Also present was Corey Coleman and eventually Jonathan Smith. 4 minutes later, Bridget Cabot and Kate Cinderella. There are some citizen concerns regarding multi-use path and some clarifications on that. Approval of minutes were approved for July 28th. Purchase of the surveying equipment. Ms. Sandretto said that the new city engineer has surveying skills and she requested approval of purchase of surveying equipment for the engineer to use for the design of water and sewer line replacement projects, multi-use paths, traffic signal projects, etc. The cost of the equipment is $31.86 from Precision Laser and Instrument, which is less than the cost for the state purchasing program. Committee agreed 3-1 to recommend approval of purchase. ADA improvements to downtown Phase 1 contract. Ms. Sandretta requested approval of agreement with Fishbeck in an amount not to exceed $49,950 for survey and preliminary design work necessary for Louisiana accessibility project. Ms. Cabot explained that this is the first phase. The design firm will give us options, and once we choose an option, then they will give us prices. There was discussion about the involvement of the business owners, and Ms. Cabot said that the owners have been invited to 3 meetings, but they were not well attended. Mr. Smith said that he realizes we have to make it handicap accessible, but he is concerned with the drastic changes, such as loss of parking. Ms. Cabot acknowledged that there would be drastic changes. Ms. Sandretta said this is federal law, and that this is our only effort to use municipal land to address the issue. She said that she understands concerns and the goal is to find the best solution. Ms. Cabot explained that once they have the design choices, they will invite the businesses back to the table. She said the city cannot go past the face of the building and the assessments have been shared with building owners. Mr. Smith said he would like to limit the impact as much as possible. The committee agreed 3-0 to recommend approval of the contract with Fishbeck. Other business, I'm sorry. Mr. Smith asked about the cleaning schedule for the restrooms at Woodland Park, trash cans with inclusive playground at Rotary Park, and speeding in the parking lot at Rotary Park. Ms. Cabot said that she had spoken to the mayor about the parking lot at Rotary that day, and they're looking at curbing. Mr. Smith also asked about pedestrian signs from multiple locations. He said the bridge on Westbrook looks great. There being no further business, the meeting adjourned at 6:13. Respectfully submitted by Dan Attorney Chairperson. Next meeting Wednesday is September 22nd at 5:30 p.m. I have 2 resolutions I'd like to introduce at this time. I would like to introduce Resolution 51/2021. To move the rules be suspended to allow for reading by number and title only and to dispense with the second, third readings.
Second.
Excuse me, could you do the one?
That's what I'm doing.
Perfect.
Roll call?
Ms. Bourne?
Yes.
Ms. Matroni?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Van Huzen?
Yes.
Mr. Weber?
Yes.
Resolution 51, 2021, a resolution authorizing a purchase agreement with Precision Laser and Instrument Inc. not to exceed $32,031.86 for the purchase of GPS equipment for the Perrysburg Division of Engineering and declaring an emergency.
I move that Resolution 51/2021 be passed as emergency measure.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call?
Mr. Weber?
Yes.
Ms. Bourne?
Yes.
Ms. Matroni?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Van Huzen?
Yes.
Okay, at this time, I would like to introduce Resolution 52-2021 and move that the rules be suspended to allow for its reading by number and title only and to dispense with the second, third reading.
Second.
Roll call?
Ms. Bourne?
Yes.
Ms. Matroni?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Van Huzen?
Yes.
Mr. Weber?
Yes.
Resolution 52, 2021, authorizing an agreement with Fishbeck for the survey and preliminary design work necessary for the Louisiana Accessibility Project in an amount not to exceed $49,950 and declaring an emergency.
I move that resolution 52-2021 be passed as emergency.
Mr. Mayor,
I'll second.
discussion. Can I have discussion?
We got first, we got a motion and a second discussion. All yours.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I just want to say regarding Resolution 52, 2020, I'm going to be voting no on that. I have always believed in accessibility. I do not think that we should be wasting money, $49,950 on a study. We know what needs to be done. If there are curbs or other infrastructure on the city right of way which create accessibility, the city workers can fix them at no cost to the taxpayer.
Okay, you understand that this is not about the curbs. This is about the entryways into the buildings.
I am not for that.
Okay, no, just to be clear.
I only if it's on a city,
It
what needs to
is,
be fixed at a city.
right, all the repairs being done for accessibility are in the city right away.
And I also realize that this is the second study we've had done in 2 years on regarding this.
Okay. Roll call?
Ms. Bourne?
No.
Ms. Matroni?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Van Huzen?
Yes.
Mr. Walker?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's it. I'm done. I already, I can repeat the date of my meeting, but.
Any other business to come before
I
council?
do have one thing. I want to recognize Angela Manturno. I was going to wait till next meeting to do this, but she has been brought on to be the next recording secretary. But with, as long as you've had to sit here today, I think it's vitally important to recognize you and thank you for your first one. It has to be one of the longest ones of the year. So hopefully, this will hopefully not be a trend for you, but
It can only go downhill.
Yeah.
so thank you, Angela. We look forward to working. If anybody has had a chance to meet with Angela, I would highly encourage you to talk with her after the meeting and get to know her. So that is everything I have to say.
Excellent, very good. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Any opposed? We're adjourned. Thank you very much, everybody.